guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Gypsy here at the Paper Lion. First, before I say anything, I just want to say yay! We reached 300 subscribers, guys. So we are 50 subscribers away from our next giveaway. So if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of the giveaway. And also, if you find something interesting or cool that I post, I do post weekly. Make sure you share the content with other people. Give me a comment, a like. That goes a long way in the algorithm so that it helps other people like you guys find my channel so that they also can see some of the cool stuff that I make here on this channel. A lot of the things that I do come up with are inspired by things in my own life, or they are inspired by things that I need at the moment. So there are lots of different things that you'll see on here. Sometimes you might see it elsewhere, you know, because there's billions of people. But anyway, I try to be as authentic, not saying that I won't ever copy or do something that I've already seen someone else is doing. I won't ever say that. Won't say every idea that I come up with on this page is original. But anyway, guys, what we are going to be using today is a paper bag. Now, about a week or so ago, I showed you guys how to do a seven pocket insert using a paper bag. I'll link that video down below. But I've still got all of these bags, and so I had to figure out what am I going to do with them. So I came up with a cool little thing. Like I said, I don't know if it's revolutionary, whatever. No, don't know if it's been done before, but I am doing it on this channel, and I am going to be making this into a part 1 and a part 2 because we are going to take this bag and we are going to make 2 things out of it. 2 really cool things that you can use in your journal. Very easy, very cheap. So let's get started. What I'm going to be using today, obviously, is a bag. And I am going to be using some of this paper, which I bought a bunch of these pads from an estate sale for like next to nothing, so I had to have them. They're just in my stash, and I'm like, what do I do with them besides, you know, fold them over and add them as journal pages? So this time I wanted to take one of these and do something with it other than, like I said, turn it into a journal page. So we're going to pull that one out, and I like this size because it's long. If you don't have this, you can use a legal sized tea-dyed paper or something like that. And we're also going to be using, I'm making this insert for the journal that you guys saw me make, the Crafting on a Budget journal that I used, made using Dollar Tree material. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm also going to link that one in the description because we're trying to get our viewership up as well because, you know, everybody on YouTube needs views. So anyway, I try to keep my videos short. As most of you guys who are coming back, welcome back. You guys already know that I try to keep my videos as short as possible just so that I don't tax people's time. But anyway, I already made one before I started recording. So my paper is of course cut, but I'm going to be using a thicker cardstock. And then I'm also going to be using a more flimsy one. So going to be needing that. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, so with our paper bag, we're going to take this, and along this first natural fold, we are going to take that and cut it down right there by the bottom of this bag. Hope you guys are doing well. This is my last Sunday off before I have to start work next week. Not excited about that. Anyway, we're going to set that aside. That's going to be our part 2. So make sure you come back and watch what we do with this one. All right, so now that we've got this bag out of the way, let me make sure I'm recording still. And I am, because that's like the worst feeling in the world, to be recording something or think you're recording something and you're not. So anyway, we're going to take this, and let's see, which side did I want to... Okay, so we're going to take it and we're going to fold it down to where this part here is right here. Okay, we're going to just do that like that. And it's still in one piece, but we're just folding it down to where this is here. So what we are going to do is come down here now at this line and cut that. If you are like me and you wear glasses or you're straining to see, just go through with some ink and ink this up here at that cut line just to make it more visible, so you can have a better way, you know, an easier clear-cut view of what you're cutting. And so let's see if we can just cut along that line, which, unless you're using a cutting tool like one that just makes the line for you, this could be a little off, and that's okay. All right, now that we have that, we still have this little natural dimple or cutout that we have here. We're going to leave that right there. And well, actually, we're going to make sure it's there. So we're going to have this, and this dimple is going to be here, and we're just folding it back down to where it's even again. We're going to take this, which is like the side of the bag, the little accordion part, and we are going to take that and fold that right there at that little fold line. Okay. Don't have to worry about inking anything yet. All right, so now we are going to turn this into a pocket. So basically we're just going to glue this and this. Okay. We don't need to glue there because it's already connected, obviously. And so we're just going to glue along here. And we're just going to bring that fold back up. Making sure we have it as straight as possible. Okay. So now we have created our first little pocket there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, and this is where your large piece of paper comes in place. I mean in handy. I'm going to go ahead and set these to the side because we don't need those just yet. So we are going to focus on getting this glued to this. And I am going to be doing this in sections because with this thin nozzle of glue that I'm using, I feel like if I try to get it all done at once, it's just going to dry on me and I'll end up losing more product. And who wants to lose more product? When you're gluing this side right here, make sure you're avoiding gluing this little part down that indents, because of course we want to keep that open for later. So we're just going to glue all of this down. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Have you guys completed any cool projects or tried any of the tutorials that you've seen on here? If so, feel free to share those, your finished products with me so that I can share them with my Facebook group. Or it's a Facebook page, but I make posts. I think eventually I might do a Facebook group where you guys can post as well. The only thing with that is that I don't have an admin or anything like that. So if you guys are on Facebook and you have some time and you might want to be an admin to like a Facebook group of mine, let me know. I'm just making sure I've got this lined up because I want it to be as straight as possible, because we're going to need this to be as straight as possible. I love this little fine tip, but I really do not like it for large areas that I have to glue. So I think I might have to go to back to my large tip glue bottle for areas like that, because, you know, it just to me would be easier. Okay, and since that's perforated, I line that one up like that so it'll be easier for me to tear and also give it a little bit of dimension up, you know, as well. I'm not going to my big nozzle tip glue applicator right now because I think it's a little clogged and I don't want to do that on camera. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm thinking of, you know, possibly doing, right now I just have a, you know, a page on Facebook where I mostly just post, but I'm thinking about making a group page. So you know, you guys who are subscribed to me, if you're on Facebook, you can also post the things that you're making on there. So if any of you guys are watching this and you have a little extra time, if you've always wanted to be an admin to a page, let me know in the comments, or you can email me discreetly at my Gmail, which is thepaperliononline @gmail.com, if you're interested in being an online admin or whatever. And this is why I kind of want it to be as, you know, as straight as possible. Guys, things happen on camera and I leave them in because I want you guys to know, especially like you beginning crafters, don't feel bad if you make a mistake in your projects, because there's always going to be a mistake to be made and we do not have to feel bad about that. If you see something not going according to plan, pause and rewind. It's okay. All right, so I think we've got that glued down pretty good. You know, as long as you got your edges glued down, the rest is okay. You know, just gives it a little bit of texture and movement, which is not a bad thing in the end product. All right, so we're almost down here and I am regretting my life decisions of using this needle tip for such a large area. I am regretting it, guys. Okay, so we're almost here though. All right, so there we go. Just gonna finish that. And since I took so long on that part, I am gonna basically, I'm just gonna be cutting the excess away back here, and I am going to speed through that and I'll be right back. Alright guys, now that we have all of that, we're just going to go back to where we made our pocket there, and we're going to make sure that part is on top. And so we are going to fold this right here about, you know, 3/4 of the way down, I guess. And we're going to leave like a third showing. And then we're going to just make sure we crease this, make sure we got some good crease lines there. And now we're going to go ahead and add some ink. You don't have to worry about inking any of this, and I'll show you why in a minute, because we're going to be covering that. I actually don't have to ink this side either, but I guess I'm going to be asinine and do it anyway. All right, we're just going to open this up and give some ink here. That way, if you went like me and you didn't get it completely to the edge, let's just go ahead and hide the fact that you didn't. Shh, nobody knows except you. You know, because junk journals are meant to be imperfect, and if you make a little mistake here or there, you know, it doesn't ruin your project. Not in the slightest. It just adds character. All right, so now that we have got this inked around the edges, pretty much, be as messy as you want to. At that fold line, we're just going to flip that back a little bit and give that some ink as well. That way when they open it up, they can see it. And if you want to, like these little crinkles that you're giving yourself while you're doing it, you can just go over lightly and accentuate some of those just to give the inside paper a little bit of love too. You know, and it'll pick up on those wrinkly bits, and now it looks more like an aged document. Although this actually is a vintage piece, it was basically a brand new vintage tablet, so it hadn't been used. Anyway, so now we are going to take this piece of decorative cardstock. I'm using these colors because it coordinates with the journal that I made. But of course, feel free to use whatever colors that you want. And so I am just going to, and here in this section, this is going to be a, you know, a design choice that's purely up to you. You can cover a thin piece of this. You can cover it down here to this first little mark. You can cover all, it's up to you. This is like a free measurement kind of thing right here. And so what I am going to do, I know that I'm going to be making a pocket on top of here. So I do want to make sure that I am going to have enough of this so that it under the pocket won't be seen. So I am going to bring mine down to roughly a little bit past that line, just for the sake of it. And so we are going to glue this. Okay. Make sure we have that glued as close as possible. If you don't get it completely, it's okay. That just adds to the character. All right, so now that we have that open, we are just going to flip this back to where we glued it. I'm just going to lay our ruler or whatever there, and we're just going to tear that. Okay. And the same over here. I love it when I can just tear it like that instead of having to bring out my whole measuring tool. Although I did go a little bit over the edge, so we are going to just come back and clip that a little bit. All right. And now we've got our first little part. Go back and ink it if there are like any little imperfections or whatever, which is fine. And I really also always stress that your little mistakes that you make in journaling is fine, because I know some people, you know, I know we have perfectionists out there. I myself too am a little asinine sometimes. But if you're beginning crafting, do not worry if you make mistakes. I really highlight and stress that, because it's okay to make mistakes in crafting. It's just gonna happen. Anyway, so now with this one I am going to pull my cutting tool out because I want this to be a little bit straight. But again, this is a design choice, up to you. You can have it meet right there, up here, however you want, however far you decide you want to have it come down. I am going to have mine come down or come up far enough to where when somebody's sticking that in, they don't just see the brown of the paper bag. So I'm going to mark that about to where I want it. And then, of course, we need to make sure we come over far enough for it to cover what we are covering. Okay. So then we're going to mark it again. Like I said, I already cut one earlier. So I already have a cut line in there, but I'm just showing you guys because you have not made it. So I am going to bring out my cutting tool. And we are going to go and cut up to where our cut line is, which is here. On this charcoal looking paper, it's kind of easy to not see it, which is good. And we're going to bring our cut line roughly up to here. I did not measure this, so I didn't measure it by like ruler. Just kind of eyeballed it. But now we know where to make our second cut. I'm just going to take that and line it up with that. I don't know why I started the cut all the way over from there, but you know what? It's going to be okay. I'll just use this for something else. Does that? Actually, that ended up being the same size as that, so I could use either one of those. So I guess if I make another one, which I don't know if I'll use the same paper to make another one, or make something like this. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we are going to give ourselves an indentation, because we're basically making a pocket at this point. And I am going to also round my corners. You guys know that I like rounded corners. So let's give that a round, and now just to the ink. To the inking station. All right, and I am going to go ahead and ink all the way around. Why not do it now while we have it instead of waiting till later? Okay, so now basic boom, 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 3 sides for a pocket. All right, so now we have this, and don't forget, guys, we do have a pocket there, so we're going to come back and make an indentation in just a minute, so that people know that we have a pocket there. Of course, if you stick something in it, people will automatically know. And why didn't this come out the exact size that I wanted it to? I'm not really sure about that. But you know what? It's going to be okay, because once you stick a pocket in it, a tag in it, nobody's going to see it anymore. Anyway, so now we have this, and let's just give that a moment to dry before we try to do anything with that. Okay. Give that 2 seconds. All right. Now we can come back through here and this pocket that we have. And we can just go in here and give this a bit of a dimple. There we go. And I don't really like that, but it's going to be okay. If you want on yours, before you make that fold, you can also go and add some of that if you don't like the way that that looks in there. To me, it'll be okay, because I can always go back in and take a little strip of paper and stick it off in there. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Since we have some extra little paper like this, let's go ahead and just give it a quick little measure to where it opens. Okay. And so we'll cut it to about this little line here. Ink it up so that it matches everything else. And then we're just going to pretend that this was always supposed to be there from the beginning. All right, who knows any different, right? We meant to do that. We absolutely meant to do that. All right, so now you're thinking, are we done? Well, are we done, guys? I don't know. If you want to be done at this point, you can be done at this point. But for me, I am not done, and I will show you why. all the noise in the background. Here's my little journal. And I am going to find a page to insert this on, and I am going to show you why I am not done with mine and why you shouldn't be done with yours either. Honestly. Okay, so let's find a page that we want to put it on. I don't want to do, I mean, you could do it on this page where it kind of matches, but I want to do it on a plain page. That way that plain page is already decorated. So let's see if we have a page that's already far enough out to do it on. We could use it here. I think that looks cool there. So let's just go ahead and put it on this page. Oh, excuse me. What we are going to do is now we are going to turn this also into 2 extra pockets. And to easily do that, we're just going to go around the edges, 3 sides like we normally do. Now for yours, you can have it to where it flips out this way. I'm going to have mine to where it flips upward. All right, so now that we've got our 3 sides, now I'm just going to come through roughly in the middle and put another bead of glue. Many of you have probably done this before or something similar. And then we are just going to pop that down where we want it. Okay. Press that down just a little bit, making sure we have it lined up. Because once it's glued down, folks, it's glued down. All right, so now with that, what we have is basically a pocket insert, a flip-up insert, using a paper bag as our base. Now they can journal all over that. They can stick things here. But while we're here, since this is a journal and I have to decorate it, let me go ahead and do a little decorate this with you guys while we are on camera. So I already, before the video started, I made some tags that were appropriate for this journal. And we are just going to start using some of those tags. But also, I brought out some things, I believe, over here, if I can find them, to kind of just add a little bit of whimsy to the page. And we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Let me see if I have a little bit of paper with me to give this some dimension. I know I had some with me earlier. And I think this is going to be enough to kind of give me a little bit of whimsy behind these guys over here. A little bit of texture to it. So I'm going to do mine opposite corners here. So I'm just going to give myself, and I really like this little scrunched up tissue method that I use a lot. It just really gives it, you know, I love texture in my projects. So this just fulfills my need for that in a very simple and quick way. Because the tissue and the little glue, it binds together so quickly. And so I am going to dull down my, if you guys saw my last haul video from Hobby Lobby, this was one of the packages of cutouts that I got. And so, of course, I want to find ways to use it. But it is a little bright for my taste. And I also got my paper dolls. So I am just going to ink around the edges. But this is so dark already, you don't really have to. But I like to. So now that I have my little bit of texture there, I'm just going to take these ladies And just add some glue. Just add them right there. And most of you here have seen my little hack that I use with my raffia. So we're just going to give them a quick little bow behind them. The simplest, quickest bow you'll ever make. All right, and we're just going to crunch that up in the middle. Fan that out on the sides. Okay, and we're going to just give them a little bling over there. I probably should have used a button, but that's unnecessary. That glue sticks so fast. I just put that down and it's already stuck fast. So if you guys are not using that glue from Hobby Lobby, what are you doing with your life? It is so cheap too, and it works. Oh my god, like this stuff is already stuck. Like literally, I just put that down. All right, so now we have that, and now we are just gonna add our little tags. Anybody recognize that technique? If you haven't been watching my videos, you missed out on it. All right, and there we have that decorated, and we've got our tags hiding back there. Of course, if they want to write on that, they'll have to take the tags out, depending on how flat they were. With my tags, I actually made them very dimensional, and you can see from there, I like adding texture. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this part 1 of using that paper bag. And so come back for part 2, and I will show you guys how I am going to use the second part of that bag. All right, guys, as I said, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Congratulations to us for hitting 300 subscribers. Yay! All right, guys, and until the next video, bye!